shot, and I'm gonna be physical with you the whole game. You know Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking hundreds, I hear you're ashamed. Talking that shop, you must run this way. Look the dog palm, mess around, find out, Look the dog palm, mess around, find out, For somebody cute side for you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're ready for somebody cute side for you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. Mess around, find out. Detroit basketball. We are back. Pistons are back, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, we are headed back to the NBA playoffs. Not play-in, playoffs. It's been a long time coming for this. It's a big moment. I hope all Pistons fans are enjoying this moment right now because it is not something that happens every day. Trust me. I've been watching this team for 3 decades, and it always feels good to be able to be relevant. And the Pistons are relevant. All right, before we get into the nitty-gritty of this game, I want to welcome everybody back to the Downtown Dew Show. I had to hit the falsetto for this one. Man. Y'all know I usually do the regular theme song, but I had to change it up because this is a special day, special game, special win for the Detroit Pistons, man. They bounce back tonight. They get their win. Most important win. They needed one game. The magic number was 1 for them to get into the playoffs, punch their ticket, and they did so tonight. They did it also while snapping their 2-game losing streak. They lost the last 2 games to the T-Wolves and the Thunder. And tonight they bounce back and get the win, 117-105 on the road in Toronto. And as I mentioned, guys, for the first time in 6 years, since the 2018-2019 season, our Detroit Pistons have officially punched their ticket to the playoffs. And man, does it feel good. Man, doesn't feel good. As you guys can see there, the last time it happened was with Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond leading this team. And it's a reason in the bottom graphic you see more players than you do in the top graphic. And that's because this team is much deeper than that team, right? So I just wanted to show you guys that and shout that out because it's a really, really important day. It's a big day in general. Home opener for the Tigers, right? Everything across the board has just been great, right? So it's just a really, really big day for this team. And it's just really refreshing to be able to be relevant again, man. It feels so good. And I'm so proud of this team, happy for this team, and really excited for all of us. The team, obviously, but we're really excited for what's to come. If you watch Jalen Duren's post-game interview with Natalie Kerwin right after the game, he said, we got a lot more to do. We're going to get to JD and everybody else individually, but I just love to hear that from this young team that they are not at all satisfied with just getting to the playoffs. They want to do some damage in the playoffs, and this team is good enough to do so. So I'm really happy, man. And I see you guys in the comments. You guys are really, really excited. I see all the comments here. Let's get to a few of them, man, just to get it going. Miyuki Kuba says, oh my God, our Pistons are finally back in it. Crying tears of joy. I am not mad at you for that at all. I'm not mad at you at that for all. You see you crying tears of joy. I can't even talk. So we don't even worry about it. It's all good. Marvin, what's going on, bro? We are definitely back. The Pistons of coin playoff spot in the playoffs. We're back in the playoffs, bro. Back in the playoffs, Efron. Sean says, pinch me. Shout out to Ashton. Shout out to AB. I don't know if he's here tonight, but shout out to him either way. If he pops on, we definitely gonna shout him out. But yeah, man, really, really good to see this win. More Joe says, sing dudes. Hey, man, I had to do it a little bit different. All right, let's get into this game, man. Let's get into this game. Let's be honest, 2019 teams, they didn't suck. They just weren't good. But Blake was good. All right. All right, man. You guys are on it. I'm going to get to this and then we'll come right back. If I miss any comments, guys, please just resend it. I get a lot of comments coming through. So if I don't see you, I'm not avoiding you. I'm not ignoring you. I just need you to put it in there again so I can make sure I get to as many as possible. If you want to send a super chat to support, you can always do that too. It makes it a little bit more easier for me to see. So whatever you guys want to do, I'm here for you. We're going to talk about this and get through this game together. We're going to break this game all the way down, Derek. We're going to break it all the way down, everyone. All right. So let's go. Let's get to it, man. Let's get to my initial thoughts. So first things first, I want to shout out Tim McCormick on the broadcast pregame. He said that it has been 2,180 days since the Pistons were last in the playoffs. 2,180 days. I have a 5-year-old. He wasn't even born yet. It has definitely been a long time coming, man. Obviously there's different reasons as to why, but that doesn't matter right now. The point is that drought is over. So many streaks and droughts have been broken and destroyed by the Pistons this year. This team is really, really special, man. This team is special. So as far as who played tonight, right? Ron Holland, Marcus Hasser, they both returned. They both missed last game with their suspension due to the brawl in Minnesota, and they returned tonight. And honestly, they both contributed. We're going to get into that as well. Cade Cunningham missed his 6th straight game with a left calf contusion. And as of right now, we have still not heard anything about anything being seriously attached to it. So until we hear anything, I'm just going to assume that the Pistons are going to just rest him for the playoffs. Continue to rest him until the playoffs, rather. Not for the playoffs, but resting him until we get to the playoffs. But with that being said, I do hope the Pistons do bring him back. The last couple of games, at least the last game or two. Even if it's just 15, 20 minutes a game, right? Just to shake some of that rust off, get him back into rhythm with the starters, because it's been about 2 weeks now that he's played. So we want to make sure that he is first and foremost healthy. But, secondly, you want to make sure that he has a lather, is in a rhythm with his teammates going into the playoffs, because sometimes it takes a minute to shake that rust off when you're rolling so well. You want to make sure individually you're on your top of your game, and as a team collectively, you guys are on top of your game and you guys are linked and have that synergy. So I hope he comes back the last game or two of the year, at least, just to get him, some reps. But hopefully more than anything, I hope he's healthy and he's as close to 100% as possible going into the playoffs. So that's it for the injury front, right? And with that, well, actually, no, that's not it, because Tobias Harris also didn't play tonight. We know that last game he actually re-aggravated his right Achilles tendon. I think it's called Achilles tendinopathy. And he missed a few games. He came back last game and then left the game again with the same injury. So that had me a little concerned, because it sounds like he re-aggravated it. And at this point, I'm sitting him until the playoffs. Same thing, okay. I'm sitting him until the last game or two of the playoffs. Hopefully that's enough time for him to get back fully healed. I don't know the extent of the injury. But hopefully both of those guys can come, because we're going to need everybody. Going to the playoffs, guys, we're going to need everybody. We got to do this thing by committee. And the last thing I want is to get to the playoffs after being away so long and then we're not even full strength. That would be tragic. That will be tragic. So I'm sitting Tobias as long as he needs. Hopefully, the last game of the season, the last 2 games of the season gives him enough time to be able to heal. And if so, get some reps and get back on the court. So that is it for the injury front. So now let's go ahead and get to my initial thoughts, right, for this game. And like I said last episode, guys, I honestly didn't have any issues with guys resting for obvious reasons. We just talked about it, right? For me, there's 5 games left. They played 77 games. And these last 5 games for me, guys, they don't really affect playoff implications, right? Nothing really is going to shake or change that is drastic when it comes to the playoffs. The Pistons are going to make the playoffs. They just proved that tonight. Now it's about a matter of who we're going to play, right? Maybe. That may be decided in these last 5 games. It may change in these last 5 games. We know where we sit right now is 6. We'll get to that later. But as of playoff implications as far as getting there, that's already set in stone. Already set in stone. So I'm okay with the rest. I'm okay with the rest. It's all about getting healthy right now. It's all about building chemistry right now and building consistency going to the playoffs. That's all that matters right now. Those things are all that matters. Not wins and losses, not sets, nothing. Nothing more than health and chemistry. That's it. That's literally how you have deep playoff runs, right? So as far as the health front, guys got some more rest, which is good. But as far as the chemistry and consistency piece, how did that look tonight? To be honest, guys, I got to keep it a buck. This was not a clean game at all by the Pistons. We know obviously guys were missing and we didn't have our full roster. But even with that, the leads that the Pistons had in this game showed that they were still the better team by far, right? A lot of G Leaguers are playing for the Raptors tonight. No disrespect, but G Leaguers and NBA players are just different, right? So the Pistons had no business losing this game, even with the guys they had out. And honestly, the Pistons came out looking like they knew they were playing the Raptors. They had no sense of urgency whatsoever to start this game. This game was frustrating. I'm not going to lie to you. It feels good now that it's over and we got the win, kind of backed into a win. But watching this game from start to finish was very frustrating, for me at least, because the Pistons, as they've done previously, as young teams often do, they played down to the competition again, right? You saw early in the game, even though the Pistons were up a point or two in the first few minutes, they should have been up way more. You know, had they been playing above average team, they would have been down early in this game, right? But coach wasn't focused on the score. He was focused on how his guys were playing. And even though the Pistons were up like 10-9, he still called timeout a few minutes into the first quarter because he didn't like the way his team was playing, despite what the Raptors were doing and not doing. He saw this team was lethargic coming out the gate. They were not playing with a sense of urgency. The energy wasn't there, and they were relying on their talent to get them through this game. And coach was trying to nip that in the bud early in this game. And initially, it worked because after that timeout, the Pistons woke up. They woke up and they went on a 13-0 run to take control of the game in the first half. So you saw right away the Pistons were the better, superior team. It wasn't even about that. It was about, are you going to treat this game like you should treat the next 5 games? Are you going to treat every game like a playoff game? Are you going to come into every game with the same mindset? Because when you get to the playoffs, you have to. You have to. You're not playing different teams, and you can't afford slippage. That's how you get eliminated from the playoffs very quick. It's by not having that consistent sense of urgency mindset, that professional, mature, consistent mindset of we have to play this game like it's our last. That's how every game in the playoffs must be treated. And the Pistons have me a little concerned because they're still showing that inconsistency when it comes to who they're playing. They can't just turn it on in the playoffs. You can't have that mentality. Some teams can do it, but when you're a first-time team going to the playoffs with so many new guys, young guys, you can't afford to do that. You got to go into the playoffs with good habits. Like right now, this should be the start of the playoffs for the Pistons, regardless of who's on the court. How you play should be indicative of how you intend to play in the playoffs. And tonight, they did not do it. They did it at times, right? At times, they did it. But like D. Davis said, they looked lackadaisical. And that is exactly the case. They looked lackadaisical. When they turned it on, they did. And they built the lead back up. But when they had a lead, they blow it. It happened 3 or 4 times in this game. And that was the frustrating part for me. That was the frustrating. I kept saying to myself, if we lose this game with what's on the line to this team after having this lead, it will be the worst loss of the year. And you don't want the worst loss of the year to come 5 games before the playoffs when you're going to the playoffs. So I'm glad they got the win, but they cannot continue to do this. Second half was the same thing, right? The Pistons imposed their will. It was like a 4 or 5 point game going into halftime, right? Same thing in the second half. The Pistons imposed their will this time, unlike the first half. They started the second half off great, right? They took advantage, they took control, they imposed their will, and they went up early in the third quarter. Led by what? Their defense and the transition offense, as usual, right? They were up 22 points midway through the third quarter, right? They were only up 5 or 6 at halftime, and they were up 22 midway through the third quarter that quickly. But once again, they played down to the competition again. They got ridiculously lazy and sloppy with their passes, and they allowed the Raptors to go on a 15-2 run. Unacceptable. 15-2 run to make it a game again. And once again, the Pistons were able to reestablish control again and push the lead back to double digits with their own 8-0 run after that 15-2 run by the Raptors. But once again, the Pistons got complacent again and started playing sloppy again. Turned the ball over again, allowing the Raptors to go on then a 14-2 run after their 15-2 run earlier. I'm not trying to make this a Debbie Downer because the Pistons just got into the playoffs for the first time in 6 years. But like JD said, this is not the end. This should be just the beginning. The Pistons have to stop doing this. If the Pistons want to make a deep run to the playoffs, they have got to stop doing this, man. I've seen it with the old Pistons team in 2002 and 3. They did the same things. They did the same things. They were a great young team, hungry, scrappy, gritty, defensive, all those things. But up here, they were not consistent. It was peaks and valleys. It was no sense of urgency that was consistent throughout the game. And they relied too much on their talent to be able to win the game. And you can't do that. You cannot continue to do that right now. That is a bad habit to have going into the playoffs. It's not because it's not going to work. You're not going to be able to out-talent teams in the playoffs or outwork teams in the playoffs. Everybody's going full tilt in the playoffs. That's why everybody is gearing up now and getting everybody healthy now. So they'll have fresh legs to go all out for 16 games, potentially 16 wins, potentially. That's why everybody is resting everybody now, so they can have that. The Pistons can't afford to be lethargic going into the playoffs. They're not going to play the Raptors in the playoffs. The Raptors had many opportunities in this game to make it even more of a game. But the Raptors, thankfully for the Pistons, they missed a ton of wide open threes. They missed a ton, guys, of wide open threes in this game, where if some of them go in, the Pistons are only up 3, 2, 1. They were playing with fire, man. And that's what I mean. Playoff teams are not going to miss those open looks. They are not. And they're not going to allow you to just go on runs to get back and reestablish control of the game. It's not going to happen. I'm not trying to harp on this too much, but it's so important if the Pistons want to get past the first round. If they play in the Knicks, if they play in the Pacers, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If they do this, if they play like this, they're not going to beat either one of those teams. They got to stick to what they've done all year when they've been winning, and that's playing consistent for as close to 48 minutes as possible. That is the key. For every team that wins, that's how you do it. That is exactly how you do it. Got a couple comments to get to, and then we will go ahead and get into some more details of this game. More Joy, appreciate you. Good to see you. More Joy says, you are the first place I come to after every game. You are one of the best to do it. Shout out to King, too. Keep up the great work, and let's go Detroit. I appreciate that, More Joy. I really appreciate that. It means a lot. It means a lot because I put a lot of work into this. You know, I got other things I'm doing, but this is one of the things I love to do in my downtime to really get away and really just have fun with you guys, right? So I love hearing things like that, Mojo. It encourages me to keep going, to keep giving you guys more, to keep seeing how I can improve and make this more interactive and make it more entertaining, right? Because I'm going to be doing this anyway. But to do it with you guys in this fashion is great. So I appreciate you, More Joy. Appreciate that very, very much. And if there's anything that you guys would like to see me do going forward to add to the channel as an aside, let me know. Throw me ideas. Anything I can do to add and make this experience for everybody better, let me know. Let's do it for sure. But thank you, More Joy. I really appreciate you. Doug, my guy, what's going on, bro? Dude, you can't party without your crew. Hey, I need my crew, man. I need my crew, bro. You know, I was waiting on you. But yeah, this is a great game, Doug, right? What did you like, Doug, about this game? What stood out to you, Doug, about this game, good or bad? If one thing that you could point to as far as with this game, what stood out to you, Doug? Specifically, Doug, because he gave me that super chat. Doug, let me know. Anybody else, too? If you guys see anything else you guys saw, let me know. But I had to get Doug because he's always showing me love. So, Doug, appreciate you as always, brother. Always, man. All right. Let's get back to a few more comments. Oh, Organic Lindo says, I appreciate you keeping it a bean about what we can improve. Yeah, man. Yeah, I think, like, Organic Lindo, I appreciate you, too, because you do the same thing. A lot of you guys do the same thing. We try to keep this as honest as possible. No bias, right? I'm not going to come on here and just be negative all the time. I love this team. I take pride in saying that the city I live in has a team that goes by the name of the Detroit Pistons. I'm a Detroit lifer. Always have been. Always have been. So I got to keep it a stack, though, at the same time. I can't just be a yes man, right? I don't know how to do that. I was raised that way. I'm a very blunt person by nature. I've had to pull back a lot of that because I don't want to hurt feelings. But yeah, man, like I got to keep it a stack. And I appreciate that you guys rock with me because of that, because that's all I'm going to do. Good or bad, I try to focus on the positive, but I do not ignore the negative, right? Two things can be true. So I appreciate you, Organic, for that comment. And let's get back to, oh, Doug, I appreciate you again, bro. They never gave it up. It was their heart. Yeah, so Doug, I wasn't saying to send another super chat, bro. I was just saying to just give, since you would give me a super chat just to give me a comment. But I appreciate the love, brother. But yeah, they never gave it up. They never gave it up. But to me, Doug, like, they never should have had to be in a position to where they had to show that much heart. You know what I mean? Like, I agree with you, bro. Because look, they could have lost this game, right? They could have lost this game. And I would have a totally different disposition right now. Completely, right? But they got the win. But with that, because we're always trying to see how can we be better? How can we be better? Or how can we improve? Because this team right now, as currently constructed, is not good enough to win a title yet, right? Not even just talent-wise. They don't have the experience. They don't have the reps, right? They don't have the chemistry yet. They're not good enough to win a title yet. And that's what we as fans want to see, right? We want to see, oh, by the way, I said Doug. My bad, Dave. My bad, Doug. I said Dave. My bad. But yeah, thanks, Sean. But yeah, like we want championships, guys. We want to win championships, titles. That's what I'm used to. I'm used to that. That's what I expect. That's the expectation I've had since the Bad Boys went back to back when I was an itty bitty boy, 3 or 4 years old, right? To '04 when they won, when I was in high school. My graduation, I graduated the year the Pistons won. Outside of my getting married and outside of having my children, that is the most significant year of my life. It's 2004. So that is what I'm saying when I talk about how can we get better, Doug? Because you're right. They didn't give it up, but they got to start putting themselves in position to where it's not even an issue. They should have had their bench guys on the bench by the end of this game. Schroeder should have been resting, right? You should have had JD should have been on the bench resting. We should have had all like B-Ball Paul should have been in the game with Lindy Waters and Ron Holland and Marcus Sasser and Fontecchio. Right, that should have been our B's. That should have been what we had at the end of the game, because we were up 20 points. They just let their foot off the gas, and they had to stop doing that. So I hear you, Doug. I'm just like I'm not gonna take it easy on them because I know how good they can be, and I know how good they have to be in order for them to get to that next level. And they're not quite there yet. They're getting there, right? Head of schedule, but I'm always trying to push that limit. All right. Thank you guys for your comments. I appreciate the feedback as always. All right, let's get back to this game, man. Now that we got that out the way, right? Let's go ahead and get to the box scores from this game. And before I even get into individuals, the starters, guys, have really been stepping up in wins and losses. Since we've had these injuries and these suspensions, we've had a lot of guys step up, right? Even a lot of guys who come off the bench stepped up in starting roles, right? Every starter tonight scored in double figures. Every starter tonight also scored 15 plus points, right? We didn't get a ton from our bench, but we got enough because half of our bench was starting. Half of our bench is either starting, injured, or suspended, right? So, for us, I'm looking at the bench. We didn't get a ton, but we got enough because the starters gave us what we needed. So let's start with the point guard position, right? Let's go to Dennis Schroeder. Okay, so Dennis Schroeder. Tonight, guys, Dennis Schroeder had me like this. He had me, my blood pressure was on 10. My blood pressure was on 10 this game. It was great, and then it was terrible. It was great, and it was terrible. By the way, Joe says, I love the consistent live streams. Real-time content is worth. I appreciate that, Joe. I try to get it out as soon as I can, man. Try to get out as soon as I can. So I appreciate you, Joe. But yeah, for sure, man. Like, Schroeder was just very polarizing tonight. And it wasn't even just with his shooting. So let me just get into his line. He had 16 points, 7 assists, 4 boards, 1 steal, 5 turnovers on 5 for 13 shooting, 1 for 5 from 3, 5 for 6 from the free throw line in 36 minutes. So first things first, whether his shot is falling or not, I have to give him credit for always not only just getting to the free throw line, but knocking down his free throws. He is a good free throw shooter, right? He's usually shooting 8 for 10, 9 for 10, 5 for 6. He's usually very well in the low to mid 80s every game, at least every game, regardless of how his shot is looking. So I do like that about him. His shot did not fall overall tonight. 5 for 13 is not great. 1 of 5 from 3 is not good. He's been struggling from 3 as of late, but the crazy thing is, guys, I was watching the first half, he had 6 assists and 1 turnover. To finish this game, he had 7 assists and 5 turnovers. So in the second half, he had 1 assist and 4 turnovers. That's not. I was looking forward to coming tonight to talk to you guys about how well he took care of the basketball, because since he's been here, he has taken great care of the basketball. But tonight, man, that second half, I don't know what happened. He just started getting extremely careless with the basketball, and it was frustrating because it came at a time when the Pistons really could have put the game away. Right, most of the night he was great. He was a floor general. You know, he was not trying to do too much, just kind of running the offense and getting his teammates involved. We saw that. And he made good decisions overall in the first half when the ball was in his hands. He looks overall to be very comfortable running the offense because there's a lot of the same things that I've seen him run in other stops with the Nets, with the Lakers, wherever he's been. I've seen him do a lot of those same things with the Hawks. And I think this is a good fit for him as far as how we play, right? Pick and roll heavy, getting to the mid range, creating out of that, right? That's his game. That's what he's best at. So I think he's comfortable, and I think that's why he's been able to make a pretty smooth transition so far, because it hasn't been so much that he's had to change offensively. Defensively is different, but offensively he's been pretty comfortable because it's pretty much uniform to how he plays. But in the third quarter, man, I don't know what happened in that third quarter, guys. What happened in that third quarter, man? Because he just got super lazy with the ball. He turned it over, I think, on back-to-back possessions in the backcourt, which led to back-to-back threes for them when we were up like 15, and it went down to 9. And once you get under 10, when it's been above 10 for so long, that's when you start getting tight. When you're up double digits for most of the game, and then come third, fourth quarter, they get it underneath double digits, that's when momentum can shift. That's when teams get tight. That's when you start thinking instead of just playing, all those things. So that was very, very frustrating. But aside from that, he did play a solid game. It was just a sloppy play, man. And just mentally, he was getting his pocket picked. We don't see that from him. He's usually very careful with the basketball. Usually got it on a string, right? So to me, it was just the mental part. Mentally, he just took plays off. I don't know if he was tired from putting in work defensively or what, but he made some very uncharacteristic plays at a time the Pistons did not need it. So hopefully they bounce back. Frank Norman, appreciate you, bro. Thanks for the comment. Thanks for the super chat, bro. If you have a comment, Frank, let me know, and I will make sure I include it, and we will talk about it. Appreciate you guys, man. You guys showing love tonight. Y'all must be in a good mood because we got that playoff push. We get the playoffs. I ain't mad. All right, let's get back, guys. Let's go to Malik Beasley. Let's go to Beasley. So tonight, guys, Beasley had 21 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal on 7 for 20 shooting. 3 of 11 from 3. 4 from the free throw line in 31 minutes. So he didn't play a ton of minutes tonight. I think last game he was at like 38, something crazy. But tonight he didn't play that much. But once again, his shot did not fall. He shot 7 for 20 overall. And I think last game he was like 4-15. So he's really been struggling with the shot, just in both, like from the field and from long range. But once again, guys, I think it's a combination of the fact that we're understaffed, right? We're undermanned, we're shorthanded. So guys have to play more. And he is really committing to the defensive end of the court from an energy standpoint. And I'm not saying that Malik Beasley is a clamper. I'm not saying he's the next coming of Asar Thompson or even Rod Holland. But what I'm saying is that he is putting in the effort defensively. He's staying attached to his man. He's talking. Before the game, I would post it, but I don't want to get flagged. There was a clip pregame that pretty much just showed, I think he was mic'd up. And he was really just talking to his teammates. He was communicating with his teammates. I got you. Switch. Like you could hear him just calling plays out, calling screens out, switches out, just trying to, and he would pull his guys to the side and say, hey guys, that was a bad pass. I got to be better. Hey guys, that was my fault. I got to be better. Like I love, even though he's not a good defender, I love that he's trying. He's not just lazy on defense, right? He really does try. He tries. He's just not a good defender, right? We know what he does. He's a dead-eye shooter, one of the best shooters on the planet. So you can't get everything. I just love the effort. That he's given. And Mike, I think you're right. THJ is picking up Beasley's slack. I 100% agree. And we're going to get to THJ next. I'm glad you mentioned that, bro. That's exactly where I was going to go. Let's get there now. Because Beasley struggled, but he did get the defensive effort. But once again, guys, this is why it's so important, guys. Like I've said 100 times before. This is why it's important to have depth. This is why it's important to have a deep team. Next man up means nothing to you if you are top heavy. If you got 3 stars in your team and a bunch of G Leaguers on your team, no disrespect, there is no next man up. There's no such thing, because that next man can't come in and provide half of the things that the guy who went down, who is a star, can provide. It's truly next man up when you have a next man that can do that. And this team has that. And it's had it all year. And this is why I'm so high on this team, keeping the depth that it has. Because time and unforeseen occurrence befalls everybody. Right? You never know what's going to happen. You never know who's going to get into foul trouble. You never know who's going to get suspended. You never know who's going to get hurt. You don't know. You can't bank on these things. And like you guys have heard champions say, what does it take to be a champion? Outside of just having a great team, you got to have some luck. That's what you hear guys say all the time. It takes some luck to win championships, whether it's just health, whether you get a good call here and there, whether you draw a matchup in the first round, or second round, or third round that works in your favor, that you match up well. Like, those are all things that are the luck that they're talking about. And one of those things is health. And you don't always have health. So what is the best way to counter that lack of health? A deep team. Exactly what the Pistons have. This is exactly what they have. The Pistons are down Tobias Harris, Cade Cunningham, and Jaden Ivey to go on top of Isaiah Stewart. That's like, what, 70 points? And that's not even counting defense. And for them to still be to get wins or be competitive is only because they have a deep team. That is it. That's my point. That is why it's so important. That's why I don't want to go trade our depth for a star. We don't need to. Because what if the young guys can get close to the level of the star we're trying to spend so much more money for? Let him get there. Let him get there. And let him do it as a homegrown guy. Like, we're not going to get into that. But my point is that THJ was great. The depth tonight was great. And by depth, I mean bench guys taking on starter minutes, like THJ, who had 23 points, 3 boards, 1 steal, 8 of 14 shooting overall, 5 for 9 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, and 39 minutes. Tim Hardaway Jr., guys, has been, at different times of the season, we can say that whether it was Tobias, whether it was Bees, or whether it was THJ, at one point in the season, you could say, make a case for all 3 of those guys, any 3 of those guys being the most important signing this offseason. You can make a case for any of those guys. Beasley got hot early. He got to a hot start early when Tobias was struggling. Tobias is coming on the last month or two. He's really been playing, in my opinion, his best basketball in the Pistons uniform since he's been here, dating back to 2016. He's playing better now on both ends of the court. Case for him, right? THJ, he's been playing great these last few games. He's been playing amazing. Like, and with THJ, like, I just love how he steps up offensively when guys go down seamlessly. Here's what I mean. On the season, he's averaging 11 points. On the season, he is averaging 11 points. But his last 4 games, including tonight, 23, 23, 20, 32. Next man up. You feel me? That is next man up. He continues to show that he's a capable scorer and defender when you need him to be, especially offensively. And having vets who can step up when guys are, like I said, not playing well, stuck in the mud, foul trouble, whatever, that is what you need in the playoffs. Unsung heroes are very important in the playoffs. You look at every playoff run, you have unsung heroes in every single playoff round. So Tim Hardaway Jr. has been great. And he's been doing this on efficient shooting, man. The last 3 or 4 games when Cade has been out and Tobias has been out, I believe he's shooting over 50% from the field. Again, tonight, 8 of 14, 5 for 9 from 3. Didn't miss a free throw again. This dude, this is why once again, when you have a deep team, guys, you can play a very particular role. It may not be all you have to offer, but if you sacrifice a little bit and make life easier for yourself and your team because now you got to do as much. Even though you can, you don't have to. JD can do many things with the basketball offensively that he's not asked to do right now because we don't need him to. Tim Hardaway Jr. is asked to do very particular things on the offensive end and defensive end because we don't need him to do more than just that. We got guys like Cade who can do other things. But just because Tim Hardaway Jr. is not doing it doesn't mean that he can't do it. And you see evidence of that tonight in the last 3 games. He's averaging over 22 points a game in his last 4 since Cade and Tobias have went down. And he's done it on efficient shooting, and he is not sacrificing a lick of defense, and he's still giving you 40 minutes. What more can you ask from Tim Hardaway Jr., man? But once again, next man up. That's what makes this team dangerous if they play this right. If they play this right, they can have guys who are playing their role relatively with ease because they're not asked to do everything that they can do. They're just doing most of what they can do. But when they're asked to do more, no problem, coach. I am not playing outside of my depth. I've always been able to do this. I just haven't because you've asked me not to, and I'm sacrificing for the team. That is what we have. That is what Tim Hardaway Jr. has showed you consistently over the last 4 games, that he can do it. He can do it. And that's so important for the playoffs. So he's great, man. Tim Hardaway Jr. is balling right now. He's balling. I could not be any happier with what we've gotten from him, man. Doug, man, you are going out tonight. You're going all out tonight, bro. Deuce, I super chat because we have taken this ride with you as a driver. I want you to know you're making your mark. On another note, imagine if Ron Holland had made 1 free throw versus Milwaukee. Looking for previews from you. Oh, man, we are going to get into this, bro. King and I are going to dissect. We're going to have a playoff preview video, and we're going to have fun. Y'all get your popcorn ready, get your drinks ready, whatever you like, right? Go get ready because that's going to be a fun show. But, Doug, I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that. I'm glad that you guys have not felt like this has been a collision crash course, right? I'm driving properly. I'm trying to make sure that I do this the right way and stay true to who I am and stay true and represent the team in the right way. All those things, right? So I appreciate that a lot, Doug. I'm trying not to get too choked up, man, because like I said, I appreciate you guys more than you probably realize as far as just, showing me love. Means a lot. All right. Imagine if Ron made that 1 free throw was a walk. I know, man. I know. Hey, he's a rookie, bro. He's a rookie, man. Like, for the things that he has provided for this team, I will take that missed free throw. Like, because if you think about it, there is a game where he should have won. Who remembers earlier in the season, I think we played the Hornets, where he steals the ball. We're down 1. He steals the ball, takes it coast to coast, and lays the ball up with like 2 seconds left. That should have been his first game winner. You know what I mean? So, you can't win them all. But with Ron, we have won much more than we have lost. For what he provides on the court, his toughness, his fearlessness, his selflessness, his versatility, like he is just scratching the surface, man. So appreciate you, Doug, as always, man. And I'm looking forward to chatting with you a lot more as we move forward into the playoffs, hopefully for a long playoff run. Devin, bro, give me a comment, man. Give me a comment what you got for me, Devin. Appreciate you as always, bro. But give me a comment, man. Let me know what you saw in this game tonight so we can talk about that too. All right. Let's get back, guys, to this game. So we ended with, I think that was THJ, right? Okay. Let's go to our front court. And let's go to Asar Thompson. So Asar Thompson, guys, had 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals, 2 blocks. It seems like every time I read a stat, because guys, I'm reading these like for the first time. As I'm saying it, I'm reading it with you so you guys can get the immediate reaction. So it seems like every time I get to like steals and blocks with him, I'm laughing. Because he has like at least 2 or 3 of everything. Points, rebounds, steals, blocks. Like he is truly a Swiss Army knife. And guys, 0 turnovers. That is a huge sign. Like Asar is going to be just fine, man. I know he's struggled as of late, had some really up and down games, but Tasmanian Thompson is going to be just fine, man. Tasmanian Thompson is going to be just fine. Tonight, watching him, he played with a really solid pace, really good pace. He didn't really seem to be out of control. And I think he is kind of like pulling back, or maybe the coach is pulling back as far as things that they're having him try to do. Right? Because he really was just playing within himself tonight. He didn't look like there was too much on his plate. And defensively, guys, this dude is a menace. he is a menace, man. He makes so many plays that really like are not even in the flow of the offense, right? Just steals that he creates that the camera can't even keep up with because it's happening so quickly. Like you see a Piston score. They'll show the Piston that scored, and before that happens, he's already getting a steal and about to score again. The camera can't even catch up. So like this, his ceiling is ridiculously high. But I just love how much of a disruptor he is, man. That's why I call him Tasmanian Thompson. He is just all over the place. It's like organized chaos, right? Most of the time it's like organized chaos, right? Sometimes it's not organized at all and it's just chaotic. But when he's controlled like this, he is a force, man. He's a force. And honestly, guys, if we're keeping it real, if we're keeping it a bean, in my opinion, he is the reason we were able to put this game away. He is the reason we were able to put it away, right? In the fourth quarter when things got tight, Asar Thompson made a lot of big plays, man. A lot of big plays in that fourth quarter to win this game. Like defensively, he got a block, he had a steal, he had an offensive rebound, he had a few putbacks. He was cutting, like making the right passes, decisions out of. He was just doing it all, man. And this all came in the fourth quarter when the game was hanging in the balance. Yeah, Chris, you saw that block. Exactly. 100%. 100%, man. Asar definitely stepped up, but I got to give him credit because he did everything right. In that fourth quarter, he did everything right. There's times in the past I would see him do everything wrong in those situations. But you're seeing when you give these guys time, when you give these guys patience, when you give these guys reps, allow them to get comfortable, allow them to grow up on their timeline, right? When you do that, you'll see the growth. We've seen it from everybody. All the young guys, JD, we're still seeing it, right? Cade, we're still seeing it. We were seeing it with Jaden before he went down. Stu, he's getting better. Holland, he's getting better. Asar, all the young guys have gotten better. Every single one of them. Even our vets are having career seasons. Beasley's having a career year. THJ's resurrected his career. Tobias is playing the best ball as a Detroit Piston in his career. All these guys are getting better. Not even just the young guys. Never happens if you don't take time. Never happens if you move off a guy. Never happens if you're too impatient, knee-jerk, impulsive. That's why we are not GMs. And that's why Trajan, who has not missed yet, whether it be with Coach Bickerstaff, Tobias Harris, Lee Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., even B-Ball Paul. This dude, even Dennis Schroeder, this dude has not missed, guys. He is batting 1,000. Shout out to the Tigers. He is batting 1,000 right now. I give him so much credit. Mike says everyone except Tech. Yeah, Tech is like the only guy that I have not seen a net positive from. You're right. He's the only guy I really have not seen that jump from. And we're going to get to him too. But you are 100% correct, Mike. That is the outlier. And I hope we can get it together. Chris says Coach of the Year and GM of the Year. Yes. JB has, I don't see how they don't. We should have a lot of hardware this offseason, right? I honestly, think Cade, based on the criteria, probably will get most improved. But I'm like, is that even really, you know what I mean? Is that even really something he'd be proud of? Because we all know it's not like he improved that much. He definitely got better, but his team improved, and his roster improved, and his coach improved, and his GM, that's what improved. If they had a most improved GM, most improved coach, it will be them too. But so Cade has gotten better, but I'm like, no, just give Cade the All-NBA, bro. Just give him the All-NBA first team, second team, probably gonna get second team, right? Just give him that. I don't even like this most improved stuff for Cade. But the point is, the Pistons are gonna have a lot of hardware, or should have a lot of hardware at the end of the season. Between coach, between Trajan, between Cade, right? We have had an amazing season, man. Amazing season. Mike says Bick has been sensational. Shockingly good. I don't think anybody thought he'd be this good. And I thought he'd be good. I did not think he'd be this good. The same way I thought the Pistons would not get more than 35 games, I did not. I don't know which I thought more. 35 plus games? Or Coach Bickerstaff doing what he's doing? I don't know which I would have said yes to, or said, I don't know. So this has been one of the most pleasantly surprising seasons I've have witnessed and experienced as a Pistons fan. Cavs done to fire him. Got lucky they didn't get, they caught a break. Kenny Atkins is a good coach too, but I mean, they have other guys there. That's why I don't think Kenny should win it. Nobody thought the Cavs were going to fall off a cliff because they still got Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, Jarrett Allen, Evan Mobley. They're all still there. So they're not going to just fall off a cliff. That's why I think Bickerstaff deserves it, because of what he's done it with. All right, let's move on, guys, before I go down that road again. Let's move on. All right, let's go to our last starter. And in my opinion, the player of this game. Player of this game. I don't see how you look anywhere else. Jalen Duren, bro. Jalen freaking Duren. I still cannot believe so many people wanted to trade this guy. I know I say it like pretty much every show, but he continues to remind me of that because of how he plays. He is nowhere near a finished product, guys. But this dude is getting double-doubles in the first half consistently now. And look, you can't even say, Cade is spoon-feeding him, or Cade is making life easy for him, and he's just catching lobs. And Cade hasn't gone last 5 games, last 6 games. Cade has not been on the court. And look at what JD is continuing to do. Right? You wouldn't be able to tell Cade was even out of the lineup when you look at JD's stat line. Why did I say that? Because tonight he had, again, 21 points, 18 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 blocks, 1 steal, 9 for 11 overall, 3 or 4 from the free throw line, 36 minutes, guys. That is what Jalen Duren is doing at 21 years old with not even a full season with a coach who cares about him and his development. That is why I said the top of the season that Jalen Duren can be the hidden gem of the NBA. I made a whole video about it. Go check it out. That is why I said trade Jalen Duren for what? That is why I said all of those things. That's why I said patience. I saw this ability in him in his first game of Summer League 3 years ago when he and Jaden came in together. I saw it then. And I knew he didn't just lose it. Monster style. I knew he didn't just lose his talent, Space Jam style, where he just lost it. I knew it was still there. It was just buried. It was a combination of not having a coach that knows how to use him properly. And because of that, him just checking out. That is why those 2 things are why JD looked the way he did. Last season, beginning of this season, that had to be scrubbed away. Last season had to be scrubbed away for all these guys up here. JD checked out last year. He's like, I'm not getting hurt for this. I'm not exerting energy for this. We won 14 games. Like, he checked out. And that's why this year he said that I was playing soft. He's like, I play soft, man. To start the year, I was playing soft. He admitted it. He knows. He gets it. So that's why I was saying you can't rush these guys, man. You got all these new changes and you expect all these guys to just come out the gate like that? What do you watch? Like, what are you watching? What do you expect? That's not how basketball works. If you play the game, you know that's not how it works. You have to evaluate. Coach has to evaluate all these guys individually and then see what works together. And then the players have to get their game tight individually and then see how they all work together. It doesn't happen in December. It doesn't happen like that. You got to give these guys time, period. I don't care how talented you are. You cannot skip that step. You cannot simulate chemistry. You can't simulate reps, not even in practice. You got to get them in the game. The same way I say about Asar, you got to get the shots up in the game, not just practice. Same thing. Nothing can replace that. And now we're seeing the benefits of JD, first of all, working his tail off. Like, the way he is playing the game now is night and day from what we saw, guys, early in the season. Night and day. Tonight, he was doing it all. Imagine him at 25, guys. 26. Imagine him when he's Bam's age. He's better than Bam at Bam's age if he keeps this up. Tonight, he was active on the glass. He was aggressive, looking to score the ball. And he was bullying guys in the paint tonight, man. He was especially in the first half, he was very, very physical, trying to impose his will every time down the court. Guys, he only had 2 fouls. So defensively, he's playing better. Across the board, this guy, imagine trading him now. Imagine we traded him in December and he's doing this a few months later with a different team. How sick would you be? How much of the stink eye would you be giving the big that we got for him? Because he wouldn't have got much for him. Rookie contract, not playing well, 21. You're not going to get a ton for that. So imagine we got somebody in return who's a role player at best. Imagine having to play against JD when he comes back if we trade him, getting dominated by whoever we got in return. Y'all got to think, man. Not y'all, but whoever said that, you got to start using this. Because when you make statements like that, it shows you don't really pay attention to what it takes to win as the Detroit Pistons franchise and team, right? So JD was amazing, man. Absolutely amazing. And not even just with his defense, but like even with his vision, guys. His vision is improving. It was 2 plays tonight, I think, where he had backdoor cuts, perfect passes to Sasser and Beasley, who were moving without the ball. Found them both times out of the mid-post. On target, on time, made the pass. If his vision, like, this dude's talent is limitless, man. His talent is limitless. It's scary how good he can be. And Dolly, I think you're right. Playing against Beef Stew in practice helped him. Yes. And not just helped his offensive game, but it helped him to show him how he needs to play defensively. When you're playing with guys like Isaiah Stewart every day and you're winning, you have no choice but to follow that lead. Because we all know, even now at this point, Stu is the better defender because he's been doing it longer. Stu is one of the best defenders in the world, in the league. I think he has the lowest percentage as far as shots at the rim that go in. I think he is holding teams to about 46% overall on the season when they try to score on him in the paint. They're not even scoring 1 of 2. So when you're going against guys like Stu every day and you're seeing the way he is playing and the way your team is playing is resulting in wins, you have no choice but to buy in. And at some point, JD realized that. And now we're seeing such a stark difference in how he's playing. Yes, once he gets better on D, it's a wrap, bro. It's over. It's over. I don't want Booker, bro. He's slow. Yes, he's a half-court player. He's a half-court player. When was the last time you saw Devin Booker go all out on defense? Like, when was the last time you watched him play and his defense stood out? Every player in this team has had moments where their defense stood out. Every player, Cade, Jaden before he got hurt, Tim Hardaway Jr. when he replaced him, Asar, Tobias getting run out dunks, multiple run out dunks, getting steals and blocks in the interior, playing big. JD, Stu, Ron, all these guys are like, you can make a case for all these guys as far as having defensive moments. You know why? Because they're all bought into playing it. Devin Booker would improve the offense, but he would hurt the defense, in my opinion, more than he would help the offense. He would change our identity. You can't just add talent. Okay, I upgraded my talent, but I lost some of my identity. So I'm still right about here. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't just get talent. You got to get guys who buy into how you're playing the game stylistically. And as much as I like him as a player, he doesn't fit that. The same way as much as I liked Monty Williams before he came here, he didn't fit that. And they played and they were together in Phoenix. So I'm just saying, you got to look at that. You got to look at those things, man. It's so important. So important. All right. So like I said, man, Jalen Duren was amazing. Jalen Duren was absolutely amazing, man. And I talked about it already, but I want to go a little bit deeper as far as with how he played. So there's one knock on him that I still want to see him stop doing. I don't, and I understand maybe he did it tonight because guys are out. Cade is out. Jaden's out, obviously. We got guys hurt. Our only point guard tonight, true point, was Shooter. Right? He was the only player in our team who is a really true at heart point guard. Right? So JD, sometimes he's still trying to grab the board and push the ball up court. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that because the one time he did it tonight, He tried to go to the hoop, and he got a shot swatted by Jakob Poeltl, right? So that's the only thing with JD. Maybe he did it tonight because, we had guys out, and maybe they were trying to take pressure off of Shooter, so he didn't have the ball in his hands all the time. Okay, that's because before this stretch, not even a stretch, before tonight, I hadn't seen him do that in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. And guys were still out. So I like that he's continuing to just play to your strengths, bro. Just play to your strengths. Do what you're asked to do. Sacrifice your game. I know you can do all this, but sacrifice your game so that way all of us can be at our peak and not be overwhelmed with having too much on our plates. And then if we need to, now we can add more to the plate with confidence and knowing that you can still do that, right? So I just want to see him continue to just grab the board, outlet. You're not Asar, right? Asar can grab and go. Holland can grab and go. But I want to see JD just continue to, grab the board, give me the ball, you're getting it right back if you sprint. Go set up shot in the paint. Make a tent, pitch a tent in the paint. I'll find you. You can camp out, right? That's what I'm like with JD. But regardless, he's bought in. He has bought into his role. Yes, low high. He's bought in, man. He bought into his role. And that's what you want. That's what you want. So let's go ahead and move on to the bench. Like I said, guys, if I missed your comment, I apologize. Post it again, put it in caps, put a bunch of exclamation points on it, super chat, whatever you want. I'm not trying to miss you. I'm getting as many as I can. All right. So let's go to the bench, guys, and then we'll go to the standings, and then we'll call it a night. All right. So let's go to Marcus Sasser. Marcus Sasser impressed me tonight, guys. I was very, very happy with what I saw from Sasser. He looked good. And not just because he had 10 points, right? Not just because he shot 50%, but because he did a little bit of everything tonight, guys. One thing we always talk about here, if you guys have watched, is that when Fontecchio is not scoring, he's not really impactful most of the time. He's gotten better as of late as far as finding ways to be impactful. But tonight, Sasser didn't take a ton of shots, didn't score a ton of points, but he was finding other ways to still be impactful. The same way Ron Holland finds ways to be impactful when his shot's not falling. Asar finds ways to be impactful when his shot's not falling, right? It's all about impact. So, because the shot's not going to fall every night. So how can you still consistently bring something to the table? And tonight, Sasser did that. He did it in different ways. He scored the ball, yeah, right? But tonight, I saw him more than I think I have all season, moving without the basketball. Did you guys peep that? He was really moving without the basketball well, right? I thought that was very, very impressive from him, right? He's not a point guard. We understand that. So now it seems like they're finding ways to get him going, right? Off the ball. And I like what I saw, especially when you got guys like JD, like I mentioned, finding him for backdoor cuts, easy buckets, because he's known for being a perimeter shooter. Getting out, like King always says, if he ain't getting that step back, he's not shooting at all, right? So, it's good to see the Pistons are getting him more involved off the ball because if he gets the ball in space, he's a bucket. We've seen that. Like when he shoots the ball, I'm expecting it to go in. That's how much confidence I have in it because he's a very polished offensive basketball player, guys. He's not the biggest guy, not the strongest guy, fastest guy, but he is very polished. You can tell he puts a lot of work into his craft. He does not turn the ball over. He's got that ball in a string, man. He's not a point guard, but he handles that ball with care. And his jump shot, he's got great form in his jump shot. He's just a good player. He's just a good player. So to see the Pistons trying to utilize him and get more out of him without spreading him too thin, right? Making sure he's still comfortable is great to see. Yes, he had a nice floater too. Offensively, he was solid, man. I just like that they're trying to get him involved in other ways. Because in the playoffs, when you get scouted, they pick up on the things you do well and don't do well. So the more versatile you are, the harder it is to scout you. So I love that they're doing that. It's exactly what I love to see, man. Great. And along with that, right? I like what I see because even like I did see the pick and roll action with him and JD tonight too. We haven't seen that a lot. So once again, the Pistons, it looks like they're trying to just get guys different looks with different guys, right? You don't usually see JD with Sass. You don't usually see JD with Schroeder. You usually see JD and Cade pick and roll, right? But if you could have that next man up mentality, you got to allow other lineups to play with each other. So that way they're not strangers on the court when a guy's in foul trouble. They're not strangers on the court when a guy's suspended. They're not strangers on the court when a guy gets pulled and he's not playing well. Oh, Sass, I ain't ran a pick and roll with him that much. So what are you going to do? Like, this is a time to get guys. This is why I think Cade is resting and why Schroeder's playing. So Schroeder can get reps with other guys as the point guard, right? That's why I think this is happening right now. Obviously, Cade needs a rest. He deserves it. But it's twofold, two birds with one stone. And I think that they're going deeper into the bench and now allowing guys like Sasser as well to get those reps with JD. So I love what they're doing, man. Everything they're doing is preparation for the playoffs. The preparation has been stellar. From what I can see from here, just watching what they're doing and how they're doing it and when they're doing it towards the end of the season, yeah, I like what I'm seeing, man. So aside from Sass, we didn't get a ton of contributions scoring-wise. We got 5 from Fontecchio, right? He gave us 5, a rebound, an assist, 2 or 3 from the field, 1 or 2 from 3. I'm okay with that. Fontecchio took good shots, and he played good defense. Good shots, played good defense, moved the ball. That's all I want to see with Fontecchio. I don't want to see playmaking. I don't want to see, trying to drive to the hoop and getting caught in the air and nowhere to go, turnover. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see pump faking and trying to get to the hoop. I want to see you moving at the ball, catch and shoot. If it ain't there, move it, get it back, or move it to a teammate who'll get a better shot. And tonight he was doing that. Tonight he did not play outside of his scope. He took good shots. He moved the ball. He moved himself, played good defense. 2 or 3 from the field, I'm okay with that, right? We don't need a ton from him. We don't need a ton from Fontecchio. We just need him to not hurt us. We need him to be a part of that second unit that holds the fort up until the second unit comes back, right? D. Davis, for sure. That's that 4 years of college as far as Sasser. That's why he's so polished. Yes, playing 4 years of college will do that for you, 100%. All right, getting back to Fontecchio, he was okay. I'm not mad at him, right? The stat sheet doesn't show it, but he was a positive in this game as far as I'm concerned. He played to his strengths, and he played to the strengths that the Pistons need him to play to. So, all right, let's go to 3 more guys, and we'll call it. Let's be quick. Lindy Waters had 3 points, 2 assists, 1 steal in 8 minutes, 1 or 3 from the field, 1 or 2 from 3. So, I think Lindy is still getting acclimated, guys. He's still getting acclimated with his team, and it's hard to do that when you don't play a lot. He played 8 minutes. He had 3 points. So he's contributing. He gave us 2 assists of steal, contributing, impact, other ways than just scoring. That's what I'm talking about. And he's already doing that. It's not a ton, not a loud production, but you can see when you stretch that out to per 36 minutes, every 36 minutes per 36, it's going to look pretty good. So once again, having a guy like him, a depth piece who can come in when a Beasley gets in foul trouble. If a Beasley's not shooting well, if a THJ is not shooting well, you got a guy who can come in and do a lot of those same things. Lindy Waters can do those same things. Come off screens, knock down shots, play solid defense. He can do those things. He may not be the shooter that Bees is, but I think he's at least close to the shooter that THJ is when given consistent minutes. He's got a clip. So we got guys, multiple guys who can do the same thing. That's your depth. That's what makes you hard to beat in the playoffs. Because everybody is not going to have a great game every game. Who's going to step up when that happens? If you got guys in your bench who can do that, probably going to win the game. Just keeping it a buck. All right, let's go to Ron Holland. Ron returned tonight, and honestly, he was a little rusty. He was rusty, understandably so. He had 3 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. So he was still effective. 2 turnovers, 0-2 from the field, 0-1 from 3-point. 3 or 4 from the free throw line in 13 minutes. So yeah, Ron was rusty, guys. Like early in this game, he kind of got into it in the second half, but first half he struggled. He just looked like he wasn't in sync. The rhythm and timing just wasn't there, and that's what happens when you don't play. Even just one game, when you miss one game, it happens. That's why I want to see Cade get back the last couple games of the season, so he's not rusty. Same thing with Tobias, so he's not right. So, but aside from that, he was rusty. He lost the pass out of bounds. Right here, that open 3, lost it out of bounds. Wasn't a bad pass. He just lost it. Another play, he turned it over in transition, trying to do too much, right? Lost the ball. Things he doesn't usually do. So I'm not concerned at all. Just one game for a rook. He missed his last game. He's trying to get right back to who he was. That's all. But he still, with that, still did some good things. He had a nice chase down block. His effort, man, he does not give up on plays. Like Asar does not give up on plays. Ryan's the same way. He hustles. That's what we call him. Hustle Highland. Hustle Highland, man. He always hustles. He's always playing hard, giving us that physicality, giving us that mindset, giving us that energy. He does it every game. Every game. Lindo said he still got whiplash, right? From getting tackled in the first row, right? Crazy. He was shell shocked. Yeah. So it's okay. Like it's nice to see him getting back on the court and staying with it, because he struggled early, but he still found ways, man, to impact this game. And his free throw shooting 3 or 4 solid. I'll take that. He didn't make a shot in this game, but he still gave us 3 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block. So like Ron's gonna be good, man. This team is so good. This team's future is so bright, guys. Like I said before, we have not been to the playoffs since 2018-19. I am way more excited about this playoff run. That team ceiling was right here. This team ceiling, it can't even fit in the frame. Can't even fit in the frame. I have confidence we can win a playoff series this time around. I did not have that with Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, that squad, when they blessed their heart when they were here. I did not have that with the 2016 squad with Reggie Jackson, KCP, Marcus Morris, Tobias Harris, Andre Drummond, all those guys, Stanley Johnson, right? That I did not think we were going to win. This year, I think we can win at least one playoff round. At least. But that's because of how deep we are. That's because of how deep we are. So I am very excited about what we are looking at right now. I couldn't be happier. I just love it. All right. Last guy, Paul Reed, did not have a good game. He had 0 points, 1 assist, 1 rebound, 2 steals, 0-5 from the field, 0-1 from 3, in 12 minutes. So Paul Reed had a stinker. He had a stinker. I don't think it was for lack of effort. He just could not get going. His shot selection, though, needs to get better. Just because you're open, don't mean you got to take the shot. It was a few times he was open. I think on one shot from 3, from the top of the key, and he didn't even catch rim. Wide open, didn't catch rim. I know he can shoot it, but it looks bad when your shot selection isn't great and you don't make any of those shots. That's when it looks bad. So I'm not going to get on him too much. Like I said, he also doesn't play a ton. And last game, he played admirably, stepping in, right? The last 2 games, actually, when Stu was out, he stepped in admirably, tried to do what he could. Effort-wise, had some blocks. So I'm not going to kill him. But he's, if he's going to play significant minutes, which he probably won't, because we're getting Stu back. But if let's say Stu gets suspended, let's say something happens. I'm not hoping for that, but let's say it happens. I need Paul Reed to be a little bit better. Right, and that's why I honestly said, guys, I like him. I don't have confidence in him being our third big. That's why I was saying that, because I don't know if he can consistently give us what we need. I'd like to think he can. He's a good player, but when you're in the playoffs, you need a certain level of play, and I don't think this kind of play will cut it. Like Fontekio, this kind of play that he was exhibiting the last 4 or 5 months of the season, right, was not what we needed. So that's what I said about B-Ball Paul. But as far as tonight's game, I'm not going to kill him. I'm not going to kill him. It's just one game. Hopefully he can build and learn from this. And as he gets more minutes, he'll get a little bit more comfortable. But we'll see what happens. But he was okay. He was okay. All right. So that's it, guys, for the box score. Now, to end this, we are going to take a look at the standings and see exactly where the Pistons sit after the games tonight. I believe the Pacers played tonight. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe the Pacers played tonight. Yes, they did. And they blew them out. I think it was 140-112. They blew the Jazz out. Wasn't even close. Wasn't close. As of right now, they are firmly in 4th place. And we are at 6, right? Right behind the Bucks. So here's the thing, guys. Here is the thing. This is important. I actually tweeted this. Let's stop this for a second. I actually tweeted, was it 2 days ago or yesterday? I tweeted yesterday that I firmly believe the Pistons are going to play the Knicks in the first round and beat them. That was what I said, I think it's yesterday, 4-3, yesterday, yes. And I wholeheartedly believe that. Wholeheartedly believe that we're going to catch them and that we are going to beat them. right? That may be ambitious on my part, but from what I've seen, I don't think I have much reason to doubt that it can happen. From what I've seen, from what we've seen so far, and what we're seeing from the Knicks currently, I don't think it's far-fetched. So, but here's why I say that. Here's why I want the Knicks, though, more importantly. So here's how I think it's going to play out from now to the end of the season. I think that Giannis is going to try to get his revenge against the Pacers. You guys got to remember, the Pacers last year eliminated the Bucks in the playoffs. But if you guys really remember, for those who paid attention, I know a lot of you did, Giannis went down in game 1 of that series against the Pacers, right? He had a left calf strain. He went down. It looked like, I actually thought it was an Achilles, because when you watch it play, he's dribbling, he's just he's running up court. Dame's got the ball, he's running up court, and he does the dreaded look at your foot, like somebody kicks you. Whenever you see that, I'm thinking, oh, his Achilles pop. For those who remember Brandon Jennings, and anybody who really has had an Achilles injury, when you pop your Achilles, it feels like somebody literally kicks you in the back of your ankle as hard as they could. That's what it feels like, right? I have not had my Achilles pop, but I have had Achilles strains before. And I've talked to many players that I know that have had that happen to them, and they all describe it the same way. Some guys say when it happens, when they feel it, their heart drops and they turn around hoping somebody kicked them in the foot. Because that means that their Achilles probably is okay. It just took a shot to the back of their leg. But when it pops like that and you feel that and nobody's behind you, that's when guys get nervous, because they know what will probably happen, right? And that's what happened with Giannis last year. He had a strained left calf, and the calf and the Achilles are very closely connected. So you really got to be careful. Anything calf strain, calf contusion, like, okay, you got to be careful. If it's legit, you got to be careful, right? So that's what happened last year to Giannis. And when that happened, the Bucks actually won that game. He played most of that game, I believe, and they were able to win that game with him being there. They lost the series in 6 when he went down. He never came back. He never came back, and they lost that series. Dame tried to carry him. Just wasn't enough. His first year there just wasn't enough. Indiana had a lot to say, a lot of gloating, a lot of front running, a lot to say to the Bucks after they won that series, even with Giannis not being there. Right? So I think Giannis wants to prove that, we're the better team when I'm healthy. I didn't forget all that yapping y'all was doing. So that the way he's playing right now, he's playing as if he's trying to win every game. Because as of right now, the Bucks are also in the playoffs, solidified. They're above us, and if we are, they have to be. So they're in the playoffs. They're the only implications about right now with the Bucks are, who are they going to play? Not are they going to get in? So Giannis honestly doesn't even have to be playing these games right now. But not only is he playing them, he is playing hard. He's playing like he wants to win these games, even with Dame out. And Dame is supposed to come back. Dame is projected to come back before the start of the playoffs. That is also why I think he's trying to get in position to play the Pacers, play them full strength, and show them they're better. And that last year was a fluke just because he got hurt. That is what I'm seeing when I watch him play. Not his numbers, not the stat line, the box score. I'm watching him play, guys. He's trying to win every single game to make sure they stay at 5 and can play the Bucks, or play the Pacers rather, at 4. That's what I'm watching. That's what I'm watching. So D. Davis says they're not above us. D. Davis, you're looking at the stat. You see the standings right here, right? They are above us. From not the record, but from an actual tiebreaker standpoint. Unless this is wrong, right? This may be wrong, but I just updated, just refreshed this on NBA.com. This is straight from NBA.com, right? Straight from the source. So if they wrong, they got it wrong. But this is where we're getting it from, right? So regardless if they're 5 and 4, I think the Pistons are going to stay at 6. The Pistons are going to stay at 6 because here's why. As of right now, the Pistons, even though they're tied with the Bucks, it doesn't matter as far as with seeding because of things like conference record, division record, and head-to-head record. So with that being the case, with the Pistons being shorthanded already the next couple of weeks, with 5 games left, I think the standards are going to stay as they are. And the most important thing is the last 2 games of the season, guys, are actually against the Bucks. The last 2 games of the season are against the Bucks. So let's just say, because guys, I think the app may have it wrong, because the Bucks and Pistons have the same record. If you have the same record, what you got to look at next is conference record, division record, and head-to-head record. Head-to-head, the Pistons are 0-2 against the Bucks this year. The first game, we were blowing them out. Stu got ejected for pulling on Giannis. They came back and won. Second game was the deciding game of who went to the NBA Cup. We lost both of those games. So aside from the head-to-head, the Bucks also have a better conference record than we do. They're 28-21, we're 27-21, and they got a better divisional record than we do. So there's no way, if we're tied by the end of the season, that they have the better record. There's no way. There's too many things working against us. So if that, oh, you know what, D. Davis, maybe that's the case. Let me refresh one more time. Hold on, my bad. Maybe I'm wrong. Let me refresh one more time. If I did, that's on me. Let me see. Let me see. I think you're right, D. Davis, because I think as of right now, yeah, you're right. Hey, chat, that's my fault. That's my bad. My bad. I'll take that L. That's me. So for whatever reason, I hit refresh before I started the stream. It had us here. I didn't account for this game. It said 42, but we're at 43 wins now. So guys, that's my fault. We have 43 wins. They got 42. But here's the thing. Even with that, guys, right? Don't look at the wins. Like look at the losses. Look at the losses. That is how you can really determine, because you can make up wins. The Bucks can make up wins. This just means they have less games played than we do, right? But you can't make up losses. If the Bucks had 35 losses to our 34, there's nothing they can do about that except hope that we lose again. But if they got 42 and we got 43, they can do something about that, because now they just got to win their games. That's in their court. But if they're down in the loss column, they can't do a thing but hope that we lose. So as of right now, if they continue to stay on course with us and keep winning games, if they end up with the same record as we do, then you'll see us at 6 and we'll be at 5. Right? That's what you'll see. So I'm only looking at the losses right now, guys. I'm not checking the wins. And with that, I think the last 2 games of the season could be very telling. Very telling. And you guys, yeah, that's my fault, y'all. Y'all right. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, like I said, the last few games could be very telling. Chuck Brewer says, if we win both versus the Bucks, we have left then 2-2 in both 7-9 in division. That's a good point, Chuck. That's a great point. So then at that point, it would have to go to, let me see, conference record, right? So after conference record, I honestly don't know what happens. I know 3 tiebreakers, right? The head-to-head, the conference, and the division. After that, I don't know. So I may have to Google that between now and next show, because it may come down to that. We'll see. But as of right now, you're right. We are tied for conference record. So here's the thing. So if we win those 2 games against the Bucks, then we will probably end up, I believe, at the 5. Because I think it's conference record first, then division, and then head-to-head. I'm not sure. I could be wrong on that. I got to go check. But it comes down to, if we're tied with them, right, it's going to come down to who has the best record out of these 3. Conference, division, or head-to-head. Because you're right. If we win the next 2, we're tied as far as head-to-head at 2. So that's a wash. And then if we also win those next 2 games against them at the end of the year, we're also tied in division at 7-9. Because we move up to 7 and 9, and they'll drop to 7 and 9. That's a wash. So if that happens, that'll make our conference record probably better. Probably better, right? Because with 5 games left, you only have so many conference games left, right? So it's going to come down to the wire. That's my point. It's going to come down to the wire. The bottom line, though, is if we lose, in my opinion, one of those 2 games against the Bucks, and we're tied with them record-wise, we fall to 6. That's the point I'm trying to make. If we lose one of those last 2 games against the Bucks, specifically against the Bucks, and we're tied playoff or record-wise, we go to 6. That's really all we need to know right now. That's why we really don't know anything until the end of the season. Once you get to the end of the year and we play those final 2 games, now we can check conference record, we can check division record, we can check individual record head-to-head, and we'll be able to go from there. So it's hard to say. That's why the end of the season is going to be so fun to watch. Because nothing is guaranteed right now as far as who we're going to be playing, other than the fact that we're going to be there. That's really it. I hope that made sense, guys. I know it's a lot, but basically, in a nutshell, if we end up tied with the Bucks to end the season and we split with them those last 2 games, we're at 6, they're at 5. Because splitting with them will give us a worse divisional record and a worse head-to-head record. Only if their conference record is better than theirs and we're tied do we have a chance. And once again, I still don't know which of those 3 comes first. I don't know the order of those. I'm going to check that out. And next stream, we'll talk about it. D-Dare said, this too much. Don't it feel like it? And you know what's crazy? I don't even care. I want the Knicks for obvious reasons, right? As far as fanfare, national media attention, and being able to be the team who we match up better against. But we're going to the playoffs, so I don't even care. But I'm telling you, like I said in my tweet, I think it's going to play out like this, where the Pistons play the Knicks in the first round and beat them, and the Bucks play the Pacers in the first round with a healthy Dame, healthy Giannis, Portis coming back, right? Don't forget him. He was suspended for the last 25 games. He's coming back. The last 5 games of the year, he'll be back. So they're going to be full strength. I think the Pistons beat the Knicks. I think the Pacers get smacked by the Bucks, and we move on. And we go from there. So we'll end it with that, guys. It's been a great show as always. You guys showed me a lot of love, man. I really appreciate you guys. I'm so excited about this postseason run we're about to go on. But yeah, it's been a great show. Devon says Tobias bought them suits, but I don't know if that was a cocky thing. I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. I think that was more so like part of the growing up process, because these guys have not been to the playoffs before. The most important game to all of our young guys has been that game against the Bucks earlier this year. The game to decide who's going to go to the NBA Cup play-in or to the NBA Cup. That's the most important game the Pistons have had. They haven't even been in the NBA Cup game yet. The most important game they had is a game to decide if they can go to the NBA Cup. So I think he's just trying to set the tone for them, show them the ropes of how we do this in the playoffs, of how professionals get it done in the playoffs. That's what I think. Tobias don't seem like a cocky guy to me. He don't seem to be that kind of dude. He's just like, let's just do the right thing. We're going to represent the city of Detroit the right way. He's not taking any chances with anybody doing anything without communicating. He's not assuming guys know what to do, any of that. I think he's just taking the lead as the old vet, as Uncle T, right? And saying, hey, this is how we do this. Now let's go do it. That's just my take. So we'll leave it there, guys. Been a great show, man. Looking forward to getting back with you guys. I believe the next game. Well, you know what? Let's take a look at the schedule. Lastly, right? I said I was going to do it, so let's do it. And then we'll get out of here. So we saw the standings. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the schedule, last few games of the year, and then we'll call it a night, right? All right. So here we go. So we just beat the Raps. Our next 5 games, our last 5 games, guys, are against the Grizzlies, who are struggling, the Kings, the Knicks, the Bucks, and the Bucks. So I think the Pistons are going to go, say 2-3. I think the Pistons go 2-3 to finish the year. I think they finish with 45 wins, right? 45-37 tomorrow. Right. Thank you, D. Davis. That's tomorrow. 45-37. And I think the Bucks will probably finish 46-36, a game above us. That's kind of where I think is going to play out, because the Bucks are trying to win right now. They're trying to win. They want the Pacers. If you watch them play, you can just tell. If you watch last year's playoffs and how that ended, all the yapping between the Bucks and the Pacers, and Giannis, yeah, I think he's trying to get them. I think he wants them bad. So we'll see. Heisenberg Blue says 5-0. Nah, I don't see it, bro. Especially if everybody's not playing. There's no reason whatsoever to play Cade unnecessarily, Tobias unnecessarily, none of those guys unnecessarily. Look, they are winnable games, sure. But do you want to win them? Tim McCormick tonight on the broadcast said he thinks the Pistons want the Knicks, and that's why Cade is sitting. That's what he said. He literally said that. Right. Like, I don't think Cade is hurt, guys. He may be banged up. I think if this was the playoffs, he'd be playing. Straight up. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. If guys are not available, it's hard to win. Straight up. You know? And we don't need to win, nor do we need to bring these guys back. So why would you? You bring Cade back now. We just saw it happen. We brought Tobias back early. You re-aggravated it. Now we don't know for sure how long he's going to be. You know what I mean? Like, the last thing you want to do is bring guys back. And even if you do bring Cade back, and even if he does get through the rest of the few games without injury, what did you gain? All you gained was the Pacers instead of the Knicks. Is that really what you want? You brought Cade back early, risking injury potentially for that? Nah. Give me the Knicks. Give me the national attention. Give me the big platform. Give me the better matchup to allow my guys to stand out. Give me Stephen A. Smith, who loves the Knicks. Give me him talking about them every day and talking about the Pistons every day, top of the morning on First Take. Give me that. While Cade rests, instead of bringing Cade back prematurely and playing a team that's not going to get us the same attention, and it's going to be a harder matchup. In no way does it make sense. In no way, to me, does that make sense. That's just me, though, right? That's just me. So we'll leave it there. Like I said, guys, it's going to be very, very entertaining, very fun. Coming down to the wire, man. Coming down the wire is going to be a lot of fun. So we'll see what happens. But as always, guys, I appreciate your support. I will be back tomorrow. Post game, I believe this game starts at 9 or 7 o'clock. So I'll be back here at 10 o'clock. Post game. Hope to see you guys all here. It's been a great stream. I appreciate all you guys' love. And as always, Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
Rewind 2021. There was a parade in my city. Number one pick, dancing in the street. Everybody was hitting the gritty. Kid arrived in the D, and it was live as can be. They can ball, but we didn't want Green, Mobley, or Scotty B. When he got hurt, everyone lost it. Storylines leaking, no faucet. Caught him wash when he broke his tibia. All the haters, time to get it really hot. Everybody wanna be Skip Bayless. Wanna throw shade, okay, say less. Dudes went number one for a reason. It'll click by the end of the season. When he wins most improved player. Gonna be a movie, here's the trailer. Don't say I didn't try to warn ya. Co-signed by Win Benyamin.
Cade Cunningham.
He was raised in Texas, but now he's Detroit flexing. Team USA, he was killing them. Got him effed up, let me quote Eminem. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Nowadays, everybody wanna talk like they got something to say, but nothing comes out when they move their lips. That's a bunch of gibberish and money lovers act like they forgot about Cade. Forgot about Cade, they forgot about Cade. Forgot about how you forget about Cade.